back to the channel. I'm pretty psyched about today's video. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Y'all seen it in videos before. Today we're going to talk about my 2006 Lexus GX470. Let's go. Now, probably the meat and potatoes of this entire build is the back. Everybody loves the back. I've got an Iceco VL45 Pro fridge, so 45 liters, C-Cop compressor, Iceco slide. It's a nice unit. I'd kind of like to have something bigger. You know, when I first got this thing, I loved it. You don't have to buy ice. All your stuff doesn't get soaking wet. I'm a huge fan of having a fridge if, you know, you have a way to power it. For a long time, I used a Blue Eddy power station. Quickly learned its limitations and went on to solar and a LiFePO battery, which we'll get to. But yeah, that's the fridge. Love it. My drawer system. So the downside to kind of what I've been running into is I built this thing long before I ever had any aspirations of doing YouTube. So I have pictures, but I don't have any video. So as I'm talking about this thing, I will throw some pictures up and let you have a look at how I built this thing. And let me preface, I built this entire drawer system in the kitchen of the townhouse that I was living at the time. So just because you don't have a workshop, just because you don't have, you know, the space to do it, it's really not an excuse. So anyways, 2 drawers, roughly like 18 inches wide, 40 inches deep, 12 inches tall, a lot of storage. As you can see, the hardware is nothing special. These came off Amazon. They're a kayak handle, believe it or not. Regular old gate latches, nothing special, lockable. You can see the piece of aluminum angle right here, and that really helps to protect that leading edge as you're getting stuff in and out. Marine carpet, I carpeted the entire thing. It's anchored to the body, so if you're familiar with GXs, there's 4 cargo tie downs back here in the back. You can take those out. It's a funky thread, it's a metric thread. But I basically lined everything up, and I've got this bolted to the body in 4 places. It's not going anywhere. The wings on the side, that's really the only tricky part, is you've got to kind of map out the contours of the outside. And let me move the camera, and you can see here I've got additional storage down here. This is basically tools. I've got my jump pack, my tool roll, some electrical tools, meter, connectors. You know, you never know what you're going to run into. With this being able to flip up out of the way, you can still maintain that storage area. Goes down, and it's just a it's kind of a press fit. There's nothing up underneath here holding this up. I just cut it straight to size and then let the thickness of the carpet kind of give me a press fit. So the way I utilize these drawers is I let this one usually be, you know, camp stuff. So I keep my 2-burner stove in here, just things I would normally need on camp. And this one, since it's a little harder to get to with the table flipped down, is air compressor, recovery gear, battery tools. I'm a big fan of Milwaukee's M12 lineup. So impact, ratchet, that kind of deal. It all goes in here. And then I have additional storage over here on this side. It's a little harder to get to, but you know, still usable. Up here I have an attic. That's from Blue Ridge Overland Gear. You know, all your spare light stuff. I keep towels up there. Spare clothes if I need a place to stash some clothes. It works great. But that's the back. And I think all in with my drawer system, me doing the labor, of course, I think I've got about $325 in it, 350 bucks, which if you've ever looked at drawer systems for anything, Land Cruiser, GX, a 4Runner. Now granted, it's pretty basic, but a lot of these get up into the $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 range, which I couldn't afford. So I went this route and I've been extremely happy with it. I kind of put this back in here for perspective. This is a Big Agnes Big Six armchair, and there's a ton of room. And these drawers are huge. I think you would legitimately be surprised with how much storage you have in these drawers. So this is another piece of gear that I wouldn't take anything in the world for. This is from Victory 4x4. This is their table. You can attach anything to the back. You can see I've got a roll of Scott shop tiles back here, but just flips down. Tons of usable space. Fridge comes out over top of it. We use this for food prep a lot of times, or just anything. I mean, the uses are endless. Got tire plugging kit, soft shackle. These are the stakes that I use for the awning, and I guess we'll go there next. So on the driver's side, hanging off the Victory 4x4 roof rack is the OVS, Overland Vehicle Systems Light 270. So this is a 270 degree awning, and although it is windy today, we will get this thing out. So extra poles, keep those stashed up there. And then this is your strap to tension it. You can see just how much cover it gives you. Now today it is insanely windy. You know, I wish I could pick the weather, but I can't. And so we just got to deal with it. Put the legs down. You can add another leg here, another leg on the back side. That's what those extras are for. I keep my guy lines attached. And you always keep them handy. she's locked down and not going anywhere. So as you can see, the 270, this entire area is covered. I mean, this is your workspace. I built in a false top on this drawer. So not only you have counter space, you've got this, you've got your drawer. I mean, it's a really nice and functional setup. It's not anything more than what you need, but you know, everything you want. And I've been insanely happy with it. So moving on to the side over here, first thing that everybody catches their eye, Dobson snorkel, and it is functional. It's completely sealed. Like I said before, Victory roof rack, Midland GMRS radio. You see my Max Tracks up top, shovel that stays mounted, and you can look at it and tell that it gets used. It is lifted, so it's got an OME lift, 885 coils in the front. I think they're soft rides. First gen Tundra wheels, Goodyear 265/70 Duratrax, and they are getting a little long in the tooth. It'll be time for long to replace those, and I'll probably end up going with a 285. Just feel like it'd fill out the wheel well a little bit better. I have done a bumper cut on it as well. So front bumper, rear bumper, there's a lot of excess plastic there you just don't need, and helps your approach and departure angles. I'm not doing any extreme wheeling in this thing, but it does get used. You know, it's got the scratches and the bumps and the bruises to prove it. Along with that, I run Spider Tracks spacers all the way around, SPC upper control arms. Moving on to the front, you can see the Diode Dynamics light bar up top, Diode Dynamics ditch lights, fog lights, the whole 9 yards. If you know anything about GXs, you know that the fog lights absolutely suck. And so that was one of the first things I did. Now, they don't make brackets to hang a set of DD3s from the bumper in that location, but it's not that difficult to fab up a mount. And if you can hear my neighbor letting freedom ring, you know, America. See the snorkel. So this is a 2006. It's got Toyota's 4.7 liter V8. I do nothing but regular maintenance. And at 280,000 miles, you know, maintenance is key. But I'd drive it cross country tomorrow. I love this thing. As you can see up top, I've got my Max Tracks mounted, load plates from Victory. That's the Renogy 100 watt solar panel, hard lined into the roof. And let me get this awning out of the way, and we'll dive deeper into the solar setup. So here's the Renogy 100 watt solar panel. You see the lines running out. Here's your positive, your negative. They come around, go straight into the roof. So that's a 1/2 inch hole, gland nut, a little bit of silicone. If you're familiar at all with the 4Runner Land Cruiser GX platform, there's really no provision from getting from top of the roof back into the cargo area. And so, you know, I felt like this was the best solution. I had faith in my abilities given my professional life away from YouTube and camping. So this is the route I chose to go with. And moving down, so that cable runs straight down and comes out right here and runs up underneath. We'll catch it on the other side. So this is the setup. So this is your solar controller. This is the Wanderer 30 amp by Renogy. your battery leads going back to the battery, your solar inputs, and then I have the Bluetooth module that is right here. It's very simple. The instructions are fantastic. So the battery I chose to go with, you can see I've got it wrapped in Reflectix. If you know anything about a lithium iron phosphate BMS, the lifetimes exclusively, well, not exclusively, but the lifetimes in particular, I should say, the BMS will allow it to discharge below 32 degrees, will not allow it to accept a charge below 32 degrees. So I made this. This is just some scrap Reflectix that I got from a buddy. I wrapped it in an effort to keep the battery's temperature above 32 degrees so it can accept a charge. Everything's on Deutsch connectors. If I need to pull the battery for any reason, a couple connections, boom, we're done. Also have a Anderson plug where I can charge this battery off of 120 volt regular, house outlet. This is a cheap, well, it ain't cheap, Blue Sea Systems switch panel, 12 volt. That's what I have the fridge running into now. And then a USB-A, USB-C with a voltage meter in it. You can see this. If you have a fridge in anything, a truck, doesn't matter, you'll know that your fridge cable gets hung inside your latch for your fridge slide. And this keeps that from happening. If there's enough interest, I'll, maybe make a separate video on just that. But there's the Bluetooth module. So battery's Bluetooth, solar controller's Bluetooth. I'd love to have a readout. I could probably put right here if I really needed to. But for my purposes, the Bluetooth has done just well. So you can see this light is blue, so that's lithium. We are connected to the battery in PV, that is your solar input. It's flashing, so it's doing its job. So my entire solar setup is completely separate from my crank battery. So that controller is not a DC to DC to where when the vehicle's running, you're getting charged from the alternator and then it shuts off. You get solar charged. I wired it to be completely separate. I didn't want an instance to where maybe an isolator was to fail and my fridge starts running down my crank battery. We go a lot of places where you are the only one that's there for as far as the eye can see, and that's just a bad situation. So with that 100 amp hour lithium battery and good solar, this thing will run indefinitely. I have ran into some situations where the battery goes dead. If you get a week of bad weather and there's a lot of cloud cover, not much sun, this will pull that battery down. But weather like we've been getting and periods of full sun like what you get in summertime, you're good to go. The man in me wants, I'd love to have like 200 amps of battery, but you really don't need it. So I didn't want this to be some long drawn out video. There's a ton of GXs running around. This is not the only one. And from the ones I've seen and the people I know, mine is pretty basic. So I want to give a brief overview, give you an idea of what I'm riding around in, what you're going to see in videos. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like what we're doing with the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps out a ton. And, it feels good, I ain't gonna lie. So if you have any questions about the GX, you have any questions about how I did something in particular or where to get a certain part, or drop it down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you and explain some things, and just, you know, whatever you need. So, like always, I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you next time.